In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie, I really come alive when it's time for Ronnie Q. I listen to my Ronnie, Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for Ronnie Q. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie. She can't be beat. Sweet, sweet Ronnie.
Grand Rising. Thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button if you have not. Please like and share. I'd appreciate that. How are you guys doing this morning? Let me remove the kitty cat. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for being here again. Grandma Love, good morning. I am a new subscriber. I am glad to have you, Grandma Love. Thank you, thank you. Grandma Love, I'm not familiar with your name. Can you tell me what brought you over this morning? Lee Brand New, Grand Rising, Dominique Deborah. Hello. How are you, Grand Rising? Hey, Nessa A, what's going on? Let me see, do I hear from Grandma Love? Let me see. I seen your title and decided to stop by. That is no other reason is needed other than that. Thank you, thank you for stopping by and thank you for subscribing. Hey, Love Chicken, Grand Rising. How are you this morning? I hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. But I was thinking about taking Monday off, but there was no way I could take Monday off after what I found out on Friday. Let me pull this up. Okay. Let me pull this up. The Insurrection Act of the Insurrection Act is a United States federal law that empowers the president to deploy the U.S. military and federalized national guards within the United States in certain circumstances, such as to suppress civil disorder, insurrection, or rebellion. So, I was wondering, is this what 45 and 47 is trying to get to happen with all of the stuff that's going on, with all of its rulings? Grand Rising, Bird. I'm doing my morning walk listening to you. That is a great thing. That is a really great thing. Walking is the best thing that you can do to keep in shape and stay heart healthy as well. So I am glad you are doing your morning walk. Okay, so do you guys think that 45 and 47 is trying to cause uh, a upheaval to get people, not people of color, black people in particularly, to uh, go out and start protesting? You know, when they say that when we protest, we, cost America so much money because we tear up so much stuff. So, do you think that they are trying to get us to protest? I'm kind of curious. Anybody got any answers? Does anybody think so? I'm going to tell you the things that have been targeted, such as DEI. We all know that DEI is not just about having black bodies in positions that they are not capable of handling. But they want you to believe that DEI only refers to black bodies getting jobs. And they're really upset about that. If they believe that that's what DEI is, black people having jobs, I guess they want to say that every black person that has a job that's not a menial job is undeserving of said job. When in fact they all know that black women are the most educated in the United States. But that doesn't stop them from saying someone like Kamala Harris was a DEI hire with all her accolades and education. So that can't be it. So what else would make them so angry about black people getting jobs in America? In America. What makes them so upset about black people getting jobs? Surely they know that they see uh, black people at the jobs that they lollygag at, do twice as much work as them, and they have to put up with them, their sabotage of their work and all of that, and being so angry when a black person outshines them in their jobs. So we're not going to act like they don't know it's happening, because they're the one who's doing the sabotage, and we're the one who have to go to work and go maneuver around all the potholes and all the BS that they try to throw in front of us, instead of just going to work and having a job and doing it well. Are we gonna pretend like that does not happen here in America? Are we gonna act like that doesn't happen? Hey, kind to me. Thank you for being here. Um, is my mic on? Hello? Is anybody with me? Or y'all don't know what I'm talking about either. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. Is anybody here? I'm assuming I see 20 people. Okay, you hear me. Okay, I was just making sure that it wasn't. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is what all of my links that I share are in the description box. So I want to share something that I discovered that really, really made me think that it's a setup. hmm This one right here. I want to share this with you. Let me make sure I have the right timestamp. One second. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me share this with you, and let me see what you learned something ready already, Tebe. Forever 17. Good morning, Ronnie Q. Hit the like, everyone. Thank you for your super chat, Tebe. I have goals. If you learned something new today, feel free to hit the goal. Hey, Truth and Reason, Grand Rising. Uh, Nessa A is saying good morning to I believe Tebe. Okay, so let me share. I want to know, do you think that they are really trying to get us upset so they can enact the Insurrection Act against us and put the military out on the street? I think, I mean, the DEI, the taking back of affirmative action, all of the top generals, black generals, 4-star generals, losing their position to someone who isn't fit to have the position that they have. The Joint Chief of Staff losing his position from a guy who only led a battalion, and this is a four-star general. I don't think that unfortunately, I don't think that this type of stuff is permeating the masses. Um, but let's see. What have you guys heard about this? Let me go back one little second right here. Okay, let me make sure I don't have it on double speed. I've been known to do that. It's on normal speed. Have you heard about this?
The Pentagon's Inspector General's halting efforts to identify and root out extremism in the U.S. military, saying the initiative does not align with Trump's policies. The watchdog issued a directive last week abruptly ending ongoing reviews of how military branches are countering extremism, as many rank members have been linked to far-right groups, including the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys and the Ku Klux Klan. The Council on American Islamic Relations.
Okay. Do you guys need to hear that again? Okay. So we have someone with a white nationalist tattoo, big as his head, on his chest, who said, no, that's just a Christian tattoo. Okay, so the swastika was not initially a Nazi symbol, but they took it over. Much like this tattoo that Pete Hegseth has on his chest. So he's trying to play people for dumb. So now what they're saying is having white nationalists, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and the Ku Klux Klan is against 4547's policies. And they would not deter them from becoming, from serving in the military. So we know that Project 2025 speaks of having the military quell any protests. We are we clear on that? And we are clear that 4547 has already enacted a act that would allow him to dispel, to put out the military at the border to quell people coming in at America's southern border. It's a I forget the name of the act. It's an act from the 1700s that says that any group of spies who come over here, he reached way back to a 1700 law and said that any people coming over here spying on our country, we can defend ourselves with the military. And they say that they are being inundated with people from the southern border, and they should be able to protect themselves. So my question is all of this stuff designed to really affect the Black lives? Is this a setup? I just, if you haven't heard of that, or maybe some of you guys have heard of that, what do you guys have nothing. I have no comment. Oh, I do have a comment. I know I will. It's a possibility. Thank you for commenting. I was like, I was just so up in arms when I heard that. I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. I mean, are we being that bold and blatant with it? You know, they already want to make sure that Derek Chauvin gets off. We all are aware of that, right? So, and it's just a wasteless request for 4547 to pardon Chauvin, because he can only pardon federal crimes. He cannot pardon state crimes. But the simple fact that they want to, he also has a federal hate crime charge that he pled guilty to, that he is serving in conjunction at the same time as his state crime that he was found guilty of by a jury of his peers. So just to even just put out that they want to pardon him, and he would still have to serve his time in the state crime, is just a way to try to infuriate me. That's all is doing. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it definitely infuriates me. Let me see. Let me see if you guys saw this. And this is the first time that I saw that they wanted to pardon Chauvin. But however, we had spoken on this channel early on that, of course, he was going to try to pardon Chauvin. This is the day that I actually heard about the Chauvin thing. Let me share my screen with you again. I remember when this happened. to set us all up. At this point, I think it's the rich against the poor. It's always been that. We see that wealth gap. Yes, it has always been that, but it's very overt now. Hey, Grand Rising, detach myself. Okay, so let me share my screen. I want to know if you guys heard about this. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard about this. Okay, here we go. Let me share this with you. This is the governor of Virginia.
Governor Youngkin decides to pardon the cop who killed an unarmed black man. Here's the video. I got the update.
Got the radio. Urban 2 holding stand for us. Bloomingdale spot lot. Black male going towards 7 from Fashion.
Okay, so why is he pursuing him like this? I mean, if you do a crime, yeah, you can be pursued, but let's understand why he is pursuing him. He's pursuing him because a security guard at Nordstrom's said that he had stolen some sunglasses. This is why he's pursuing him. So I guess there is no presumption of innocence. He was shot in the back. We're going to have to understand he was shot in the back because it was said by the security guard. Isn't it the security guard's job to apprehend him? Why is the security guard calling a gun to the situation, as Rashid Ritchie so famously have coined? Why in situations like this is a gun called to the situation? So let's understand what this is all about. I remember when this happened because I thought at some point that the cop was going to just stop pursuing him, especially when he allegedly ran into the woods. Let's continue. Now, how, are we going to act like these stores, these retailers don't have insurance for these types of things? This is one man and possibly one pair of sunglasses. How many sunglasses? Let's continue. But it's funny what they never say in this about this case, if any sunglasses were found on the person. Let's continue.
Crossing over.
We know they backtracked their tracks to claim any evidence. One of the things that was claimed that he thought that the person had a gun. That's why he shot him in the back. Let's continue.
Crossing over, guys. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Going into the woods. Through the woods. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Stop reaching. Stop reaching.
Stop reaching. Stop reaching. You're on top of him on the ground, and you say stop reaching, shots fired. We didn't hear any shots fired after you fell on the ground. You had already shot him in the back, and when you got to him, what did you do? Stop reaching, and handcuffed him. And I'm pretty sure you didn't give him any CPR like you guys usually do. But let's continue. Why am I tripping off of this?
Put it up full mass. That cop was convicted. Virginia governor under fire because he decided to pardon the white cop who fatally shot an unarmed black male accused of stealing sunglasses. After only 3 days in prison, this decision was made. Glenn Youngkin was commuted or has commuted former Fairfax County Police Department Sergeant.
I'm at the last resort. I've lost.
Okay, so even his police department fired him. It takes a lot for a police department to fire you. Let's continue.
Wesley Chiffet's prison sentence for the fatal shooting of an unarmed young black male suspected of shoplifting. This was outside of a mall.
Suspected of shoplifting. So that is the penalty of shoplifting. I'm not a thief. I don't put my hands on things that are not mine. But I thought that in most cases, if it's under a certain amount, it's some cases, they don't even arrest you. They give you a summons to appear. But when they do arrest you, that's something that unless it's the type of money that the rich people are stealing, they pretty much just get a summons to appear. But if regular people steal, it depends upon the amount of money that they're stealing. They also get out with a summons to appear in court for their trial. Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
In Northern Virginia. The attorney, Caleb Kirshner, told WUSA 9 News his client was released Sunday night and is back home with his family just 3 days into serving his sentence. 3 days. The officer was convicted last fall of reckless handling of a firearm. He's a cop and he gets charged with reckless handling of a firearm after the death of 37-year-old Timothy Johnson. This happened in 2023, February. The officer and another officer chased and shot Mr. Johnson after a security guard accused him of stealing a pair of sunglasses from Nordstrom near Tyson's Corner Center, a popular shopping mall. Although both cops got fired their weapons, Officer Schiffet did not miss shooting the suspect once in the chest. He was fired from the department weeks after. Prosecutor Jenna Sands said if he paused for a few more seconds to wait on other cops, the situation could have been much different. He was acquitted of involuntary manslaughter, but found guilty of reckless handling of a firearm. He was sentenced to 5 years with 3 years in prison, 2 years suspended last month. The judge did it. A sentence of...
So he was acquitted of the more serious charge, the actual taking of the life. He was acquitted for that. But he got the reckless use of a firearm, the reckless handling of the firearm, not the reckless use of the firearm, not the manslaughter of the lesser crime of murder. You see, there was no murder charges. There was just manslaughter charges of someone who thought that this guy was going to get away for stealing sunglasses. So the cost of this man's life was never adjudicated in court. And after he gets found guilty by a jury for the lesser charges of the least charge that was that was he was found not guilty for, he got a pardon after serving 3 days of a 3-year sentence. He got 5 years, 3 which were to be served in jail, and 2 that he was supposed to be on probation. That is too harsh of a sentence. We cannot have that. Okay, let me see if you guys have any comment about that. Yes, he did. Yes, he died. Grand Rising, Queen Diva. It's good to see you. Because he's black. Loss prevention security offer is only supposed to observe and report. No, well, no, that's not true. They are not supposed to chase them, but they are supposed to engage with them after they leave the store. So I don't know if maybe that's what happened. He left the store and ran from loss prevention. So I'm curious as to what happened with that. They write off all of their losses on in tax season. Exactly. Okay. Always fearing for their lives over sunglasses. Yes, over sunglasses. So that's when the talk came about that I heard about it the same day. Somebody had mentioned it in my live, and it reminded me that I forgot to do this story on my live. So somebody in the chat mentioned it to me that none other than the muskrat was sharing a tweet by Ben Shapiro, pardonderek.com. And he's talking about Derek Chauvin. And the muskrat retweets it and says, something to think about. Something to think about. Why did the muskrat think that was something to think about? Grand Rising, Jill, that's BS. That's what they never said if they ever produced the sunglasses. They had their body cams on. They could have retraced the route that they took to prove, yes, this is what happened. But they never said anything about the sunglasses. Grand Rising, Jill, comfort zone. Welcome to the comfort zone. Let me take control and give your mind a break of something. Let's turn the lights down low, and all the rest you know. I'll be here for you, 'cause you just stepped into the comfort zone. You like that, Jill? They kill our black people over anything. It's just sad. Jill, are you familiar with that song? Oh, look at her now. She acting like I made her faint because my rendition of the comfort zone. No singing. How dare you? Now you going to show up. You ain't even say hello. You just show up saying no singing. Jill, are you familiar with that song? Jill, I have a question for you. Who sings that song? She doesn't sing it as well as me, but who sings that song? Oh, of course I know that song. Silly rabbit. Hey, T. Danielle. Okay, so let's let me share the things that was said about this free Derek and how the muskrat they are calling him out for sharing that, like that should really be a thing. Let's hear the whole conversation around the free Derek Chauvin. Okay, you guys are with me. Okay, let's hear the whole conversation about why this numbnut thinks that Derek should be freed. Derek Chauvin.
One person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin. President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. He should. He should pardon him his federal charges.
Why didn't I predict it? Of course they're going to push for Derek Chauvin.
Well, you should have predicted it. Anybody with any brains that saw him pardon those January 6 people should have known. And let's not forget, along with the January 6 people, he pardoned someone at the same time that there is little talk about who what does this did? Oh God. They thought he was in jail for money laundering and manufacturing drugs. Mr. I'm gonna start a tariff war with Mexico and Canada about the drugs that are pouring in our country. He was accused of selling tons of drugs. He was not allegedly he was not going to ever see the light of day, and they gave him his money back, millions of dollars. When do you know that you get your proceeds from an illegal activity back? But see, they keep this on the hush. I'll pull it up so we can go over that case. He was also freed, pardoned with the January 6 people. Let's not forget this Asian guy that they got for money laundering. He was into Bitcoin, and he was facing they had caught him, and he was facing charges about this Bitcoin stuff. And allegedly he gave $5 million, and his case has disappeared off the docket. The case has been dropped against him, this Asian guy. I'm pretty sure you guys heard of this, but let's continue with this story.
Chauvin to be pardoned. It's the most obvious thing in the world. I mean, he's a guy who is known for having killed a black man. He has to become some sort of patron saint of the MAGA world. Of course. I mean, the January 6 people that were pardoned included a lot of people who tried to murder cops or whatever. And if they're heroes, then definitely people who are murdering black men. They've got to be one of these. And look, Shapiro seems to acknowledge that it would be a little bit controversial, which seems like it's undercutting it. But there is a bad thing about this for us, those who don't necessarily want to see this pardon. There's good news to end this, so don't worry. I'm going to give you good news. The bad news is that he has a pretty powerful backer for this idea. We'll get to that in a sec too. But first, here's a little bit more of the idea.
The inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime was in fact the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. The evidence demonstrates that Derek Chauvin did not in fact commit murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was high on fentanyl. He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. George Floyd was saying he could not breathe before he was even out of the car. He was in the car saying he could not breathe. Derek Chauvin, for large segments of even the tape that was shown, had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder or back, not on his neck.
Okay, so we're going to address all of that because there's a lot of problems with what Ben Shapiro is saying there too. But I love that he just throws out that it was the BLM supporters who set our race relations back. Race relations, I guess, were great And everyone who started to acknowledge that Black Lives Matter and wanted to organize around it, they were all just big whiny babies who were complaining about nothing. And it wasn't the people who defined themselves entirely in opposition to the very idea that Black Lives Matter that were setting race relations back. It wasn't the people who were like, no, all lives matter. Those people were perfectly cool too. No, it was the protesters that set all of this back. And I do want to give Shapiro credit, at least in acknowledging a riot. There's been a lot of ignoring of riots ever since January 6th. So he acknowledged one of them, I guess. But let's also correct the record on.
But that was not a riot. 4547 said it was a lot of love on January 6th. It was a lot of love. That's what he called it. Never did Ben Shapiro call that a riot either. They will never call that January 6th a riot. Let's be clear.
Chauvin, according to a doctor who testified, Mr. Floyd's breathing was restricted by the way the officers pushed in his cuffed hands, squeezing his rib cage against the hard pavement, and by Mr. Chauvin's placement of his left knee on Mr. Floyd's neck and right knee on his back. His left knee was on Mr. Floyd's neck more than 90% of the time, according to the doctor, and his right knee was on Mr. Floyd's back at least 57% of the time. All of this is inconvenient.
No. How could this doctor who whole career is to decipher the manner of death know more than Ben Shapiro, the overt racist? So this is how George Floyd actually died, and you heard the narrative that is put forward, that he said he couldn't breathe before because he had COVID. He was having problem breathing because he had COVID. You left that out conveniently. Let's continue.
Convenient facts that Ben Shapiro wants to just be like is totally just, it's a coincidence. I mean, Floyd could have been anywhere in any circumstances and he would have dropped dead in exactly the same way. Nothing irresponsible at all about what Derek Chauvin was doing. But again, they didn't care about the facts back then. They're obviously not going to care about them right now. They say that Trump won in 2020. Facts don't care about much of anything, I guess, these days. But that said, he does have a backer. Elon Musk retweeted Ben Shapiro and said, something to think about. Again, more great additive social media content by walking genius Elon Musk. But so he wants them to do it. Right-wing media wants them to do it. So Sharon, they're just going to do it, right? They're just going to pardon him.
Oh, it's going to happen. I think we know that it's going to happen. These people love a good gaslighting, and that's all they're doing. Let's gaslight. Let's be cruel. Let's misstate the facts, and that's just what we're doing. Because first of all, he's a black man. Why would he even be brought up on charges? And remember, he almost wasn't. They had to say, not so fast. We're going to be adjudicating this one very, very seriously. So yeah, BLM caused a lot of trouble. They caused the kid with the acne, I apologize, Rittenhouse, that kid, to go across state lines and shoot and injure and kill. BLM is a big, big problem. Not the racism, the bigotry.
And get off and collect millions of dollars from people who were supporting an underage kid getting a AR-15 illegally and going across the country without anybody knowing, and doing the things he did and being held as some type of man with valor. Let's continue.
The police brutality, the murder. It's those who are protesting, good white people protesting, liberal, good people saying this is not okay. They are the problem in America, not the Karens. They are.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to expound on that and the way it's being position. Okay, Who is that? Lee Brand New. I always learn something new over here. I'm glad you do, because a lot of things, kind of go unsaid, and it's the totality of the events that's going to be a powder keg for this nation. Look at Red Wing Hockey. Vanessa Williams sings that song. That was such a good album. And most of those songs were remakes. If you guys haven't heard Vanessa Williams' Comfort Zone, not you younger people, I think everybody would enjoy that. That was a good album. Trump should be locked up along with Elon. Did you guys take the poll? Thank you, Lee Brand New. I appreciate you helping me reach my goals. So let me present. I'm gonna drop this link. I forgot to add it because I brought up the person who was also acquitted. Pardon, along with the January 6 people. What is the title of this? Trump pardons Silk Road founder, defends January 6 acts. Okay, who is Silk Road? President Donald Trump Tuesday pardoned Ross Ulbricht, the founder of dark web drug marketplace Six Road, 10 years into his life sentence for conspiracy to traffic narcotics, money laundering, and other crimes. Trump also defended his decision to pardon or free more than 1,500 participants in the January 6, 2021 Capitol assault, claiming they have been treated unbelievably poorly and served years in jail they should not have served. Okay, I want to get. So, did you guys know that he tucked this guy in? Okay. Trump said on social media that he pardoned Ulbricht in honor of the Silk Road's founder mother and the libertarian movement, which supported me so strongly. What? But this is the one who wants to charge a 25% tariff on everything that come in, even though he says only a little fentanyl come in on Canada's border. But he wants to charge a 25% tariff on all of their products that they bring into the U.S. allegedly for that little bit of what he even calls a little bit of, what is that shit? Drugs. What is that shit? Oh, I had a brain fart. Fentanyl that comes over the Canadian border, which will cripple our whole economy. So you notice that since the economy, the Dow tanked, he decided to hold off once again for 45 days. And we're going to talk about this abysmal jobs report, and it came out yesterday, and was it Friday when did that job report come out? It had to have come out. I don't know. They were talking about it on CNN either Sunday. You know why? CNN was on. I'm cooking breakfast and I hear this jobs report that 1,500 jobs were produced. And CNN is trying to act like that is a good, fantastic jobs report. 1,500 jobs. Elon Musk has fired more than 1,500 people since they've been in office on the 20th. So that jobs report was absolutely abysmal. 1,500 jobs. And they're trying to make it. I wasn't on that. Let me finish this. Okay. Trump said on social media he had pardoned Ulbricht in honor of the Silk Road founder's mother. Okay, so his mother, the libertarian, who was on the libertarian movement, which supported Donald Trump, so strongly. He called the life sentence ridiculous. I thought that he said that he did a what are all these orders that he did a what are those orders called? Oh, I am just losing it. Driving and listening. Thank you for being here. Executive order. He did an executive order that people of a certain race who come over with fentanyl should get the death penalty. But now, all of the sudden, you know, he did an executive order that said that people coming over the southern border will get the death penalty. An executive order. But he probably signed that on the same day that he let this one off and called his life sentence ridiculous. So let's be clear on what's going on here. A lot of people don't know about this person who was also pardoned on January 6th. And this is what he's saying. At the same time, he has an executive order under that stack of executive order saying that if you are of a Spanish heritage or something to that effect, you should get the death penalty. Okay, let's continue. Okay. It's ridiculous. And the New York federal prosecutor who secured a jury conviction, he called them scum. He called the man who prosecuted this case scum. Prosecutors said that Silk Road facilitated more than 1.5 million sales of heroin, cocaine, and other illicit substances, contributing to the death of at least 6 people. A federal judge in Manhattan called Ulbricht the kingpin of worldwide digital drug trafficking enterprise in his 2015 sentencing. So he had served 10 years of his life sentence. But Ulbricht is a cult hero in the cryptocurrency and libertarian worlds. Let's not forget that these crypto people and the Asian guy is also a crypto person that he let off. He is a cult hero in the cryptocurrency and the libertarian worlds. The New York Times said crypto enthusiasts appreciated that he created one of the first venues where people use Bitcoin to buy and sell goods. And libertarians generally oppose drug laws. Trump had promised to commute Ulbricht's sentence at the Libertarian Party National Convention last May. And he most definitely did that. While signing an executive order that Mexicans and South Americans who come across the southern border with fentanyl would get the death sentence. Let that sink in. See, he's also going to take money from the Treasury to buy crypto money. And his crypto czar has his hands in the first 5. I talked about this last week. He has a crypto czar in the White House who all of the 5 crypto coins that 4547 said that he is going to invest money out of our treasury in. His crypto czar has a big hand in all of those and has a whole lot of money in all of those that he's going to take money out of our treasure to secure in crypto. Let that sink in. See, right now, they're doing all of this theft in broad daylight. They're not trying to hide any of this. They're doing everything they're doing in broad daylight. And did he recuse himself from any of his businesses this time around? No, he has not. He pretended as if he was going to hand over his businesses to his sons the last time. But this time, he made no such claims and made no such promises. And this is something that he should not have an option to do. This is what he's supposed to do. But no such claims of I'm taking my hands off of my business interests, the interests that the Saudi Arabia is using for their new golf thing that Saudi Arabia has, and they're using his golf courses to do their little golf thing at. I forget what's the name of Saudi Arabia. They're into golf now. They are holding their tournaments. They're kind of like the Middle East of the Masters. They have their own thing with golf. Forgive me, I don't know golf good, but I do know that. Okay. Congressional Republicans struggled to defend Trump January 6th pardon, especially for the rioters convicted of assaulting police officer. Some said they disagreed with the pardon for violent rioters, but most Republicans wouldn't weigh in on whether Trump made the right decision. I don't care about Okay, counterterrorism expert and said Trump clemency, especially for the Proud Boys and Oath Keeper leaders serving long sentences for seditious conspiracy, could further embolden fringe groups and boost political violence by far-right militants, the Washington Post said. So that's what I wanted to know if you guys knew that. Did you guys know that? Executive, thank you. I couldn't think. I was like, what? How am I having a brain fart on executive orders? Jill comfort zone. Hey, honey. First day back to the office. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm gonna drop this link for you guys in the chat. Did you guys know about that? That particular pardon that was snuck in with the January 6 pardons? There's not a lot of talk about this pardon. Let me see. Now, let me copy and paste this. I'm going to drop that link to that article in the chat. Grand Rising, Nappy Child. Nappy Child, you're going to have to see the first part. I was talking about these pardons that 45, 47 gave out. And I talked about the pardon of the crypto guy and illicit drug seller whose product possibly killed up to 6 people, how he was also pardoned in with the January 6 people because 45, 47 said that his mother supported him and was such a great libertarian. So he was pardoned while at the same time he says that Mexicans and people coming in at the southern border are bringing in so much fentanyl and that they need to get the death penalty. He also signed an executive order for the people coming from the southern border to get the death penalty. Please review. Hey, Room Shaker, how are you? Y'all ain't got nothing to say about that? Okay, let me move on. Y'all don't have nothing to say about any of that. Let me see what else I wanted to talk about. Let me see what else I wanted to talk about. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of more minutes to take okay, I have the Doge fight, Doge mistake. Let's see some white tears. I don't even remember what it is. Okay, let's see some white tears. Y'all want to see some white tears? How about that? Let me show you guys some white tears. I don't remember what I'm showing you. I get my show together at night. And I'm gonna show you the white tears first, and then we're gonna get into the gist of my commentary, because I definitely have a question. Should at what point does Elon Musk get fired? At what point does he get fired for waste, fraud, and abuse? Because all of these numbers that he has been putting out, he's been taking them off of that Doge receipt page quicker than he puts them on. So at what point do we fire him for not doing his job? Okay, let me share this with you.
Democrats doing something. Ayanna Pressley and the rest of the squad are a part of the Democrats who are actually deciding to fight right now. There was a hearing of the House Oversight Committee, which AOC should be leading, but alas.
So you guys know how much I respect Ayanna Pressley. She was the one that I played for you guys before the election, after the election, asking the group of people she had in front of her who were co-authors of Project 2025, what was the secret plan that they had in store for the first 180 days of a new Republican administration, and they would not answer the question. I played this for you guys so many times on my channel, and understand that we are living in the first 180 days. We're kind of almost 50 days in this administration. I don't know where, after all of this stuff that has gone through right now, I don't know where we will be on day 180. But they made allowances for the 180 days for martial law. Let's be clear. They may, in the first 180 days, how to conduct martial law using our military is discussed. So let's see what Ayanna Pressley has been up to. She was trying to get. They had. Wait a minute. Let me.
Folks, which the Trump administration is upset about. They may restrict local law enforcement from sharing the immigration status of someone who is detained with the federal government, or they may not detain them for an extended period.
So they had Democratic mayors, and they were questioning them about about them being sanctuary cities. This is what this hearing was: 5 Democratic mayors, and them not abiding to laws or to address the immigrants in their cities. Let's continue.
To allow for ICE to come and grab them, because for, say, like a petty crime or a violation that is not violent, right? They may not be forced to detain these people, but the federal government under Trump and their, ICE immigration officials, they want to supersede local and state laws on this front.
But if state law says that you catch somebody shoplifting some bubble gum and they go through the same procedures as everyone else, no, 4547 wants you to find out their status and hold them until ICE can come pick them up. They don't give a shit about your state's rights. But when it comes to abortion, they can they want to tell you that it's up to the states. The states can decide if abortion can be absolute or if it can take into account if you were raped with an R or molested and impregnated by a family member. That's up to the state to decide. Or if your life is in danger, that's up to the states. We're going to leave that up to the states. But something like this, no. You guys have to do what the federal government says you have to do. Let's continue.
Front so that they can round up a bunch of immigrants. So
Ayanna Pressley wanted to enter something into the hearing, and she wanted to do like they always do, give a brief description of what they're entering on the record. So this is what happened to her when she tried to do this. And this guy is a whole cornball who doesn't even understand Robert's Rules of Order and always have to be told by somebody on his side if he can or cannot go on, if he can or cannot stop. It's always somebody running up to his shoulder telling him how to proceed. Let's continue. Okay.
Evidence into the record.
Want to hand off your taxes?
Hold on. I got a commercial. I talk too much. We're going to get into this. Okay, here we go.
Chair recognizes
Mr. Chairman, I have unanimous consent request. Mr. Chairman, have unanimous consent request.
Proceed.
I'd like to seek unanimous consent to enter into the record this article, and I'll do this as a survivor of sexual violence myself. This is from Courts, March 2018.
Without objection, so ordered.
Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born...
Without objection, so ordered. We've put it in the record.
I haven't entered it.
You have what?
Mr. Chair, can I have several articles. I need to enter them. Let me just go ahead with what the articles are.
What's the next article?
Let me proceed. Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born Americans commit more rape and murder than immigrants.
Listen, this trend of you all trying to get thrown out of committee so you can get on MSNBC is going to end. We're not going to put up with it.
This is my procedural right as a member of this committee.
You can go with Mr. Frost and Mr. Green.
I'm reclaiming my time.
That's what you want. No. Ms. Presley, I've been very...
Say something here. The whole your prop clipping objection, you're just trying to get out of MSNBC. This would not be a clip if you just let her read the news article
right
into the record.
Exactly.
So exactly who's trying to get on Fox News is the question. So all of this inappropriate interrupting, and it would not have been a thing, but he doesn't want the facts to get out. And the article that she was submitting is that people who are here, immigrants who are here, create and actually do less crimes than citizens here. That's what she was trying to enter into the record. If he would have allowed her to enter it into the record, it wouldn't have been no big deal. But he made it a big deal, and that's why people have clipped that and continue to play it. Because how dare you tell the truth in this administration? Let's continue.
Republicans never try to get on MS or to get on Fox News or something like that with their stunts. I mean, are you kidding me? Nancy Mace has made basically her entire career out of trying to get on cable news. She gave her staff quotas that she had to be on the news every single day or going out to news outlets to put her on air.
MSNBC wasn't going to play just her reading a news article into the public or into the record.
No.
It wouldn't have been newsworthy, except he throws this fit.
Right.
Comer also literally was on like every second for the Hunter Biden stuff.
Oh, right.
Like he is like, it's crazy coming from like one of the thirstiest members of Congress for attention.
Yeah. And he's also, the idea that MSNBC is more favorable to a representative like Ayanna Pressley than any of the 10 Democrats that I just listed who voted to censure Al Green for protesting Trump is ridiculous. Later in the show, we'll play David Axelrod saying that it was horrible that Al Green dared to interrupt the president here. I mean, the folks like Ayanna Pressley are very few and far between at the beginning or to start.
The articles
I have been very accommodating to you, Mr. Superjohn.
And I take particular umbrage as a survivor of sexual violence. I will answer the record. This is my right. Thank you.
No. Mr. Superjohn.
Mr. Chair.
No, you know the process of unanimous consent. You are not recognized.
I have several articles to enter into.
Look, somebody has to slip him something to tell him something with his ignorant ass. Let's continue. Always.
You
record.
Mr. Superjohn, if you don't go, we're going to recognize Mr. Timmons.
Watch this before eating cheese.
So he just totally overrode her. And he knows that she was in her rights. Let me see.
Really threatened. I know, right? Hall monitor. Yeah, you're not abiding by the rules. It's the same thing that Speaker Johnson did, which got thunderous applause with the Al Green thing. We're gonna.
So that's all that I have on that one. What do you guys? Hey, K-Pid, did you guys see that? Very ignorant. Wow. 45-47 is probably selling pardons. Okay, what 45 and 47 is selling? He's selling time to corporations for $5 million. You can have a one-on-one sit down with him at Mar-a-Lago, and for the petty price of $1 million, you can have a sit down with him and a group of other $1 million payees at Mar-a-Lago. So this is happening with full knowledge that this is happening. And I would be remiss if I was not to tell you that crypto that he created 2 days before he was inaugurated, that crypto coin is a way that anyone from around the world can pay him a bribe. If they so choose to, they can pay it via his crypto and say, yeah, I purchased this, and remember me when X, Y, and Z comes up. That let's not omit these facts. All of this shit is happening in the light of day. The Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for not backing Al Green. They should absolutely be ashamed of themselves. It doesn't shock me. You see, he's selling gold cards for residencies. No, it doesn't shock me at all. And see, all of the things that he's doing right now. See, I really hope that they get, I really, really hope that they get all of the seats in the midterms. I hope that they put him up for impeachment, and I hope that they don't do like they did the last time. Wait so long to bring him up on these charges that he is breaking in the actual government right now. I really hope that they are faster on the gun. And let's talk about the people who, these are the people. Let me remove my tag. So, who, Democrats, these are Democrats who decided to censure Al Green. And these are their phone numbers at the Capitol. So, if one of these are your representatives, or if you just want to call, take a screenshot and voice your disappointment in these Democrats voting. They say they were voting to censure him because of procedure. So I guess they didn't have the balls to call a procedural vote to censure Marjorie Taylor Greene sitting up in the chambers with a MAGA hat on, which is against the rules. I guess they didn't have the guts to censure all of these Republicans who heckle Barack Obama and Joe Biden. They didn't have the balls to censure them, but I think a couple of them are freshmen, but all of them are not freshmen. So these are the 10 people who wanted to censure one of their own. And maybe these are the 10 of if any of them needs to lose in their primary. Maybe these are the 10s. If they are up in 2026, they may need to lose in their own primary since they can't stay on point like the Republican can on any piece of bullshit. Ugh. Let's continue. Fucking ass wipes. Just disgusting. Grand Rising, Sandy. Okay, so now it was some funny shit that came out. It came out this weekend, and Trump denied it, of course. It came out this weekend that Marco Rubio and Duffy got into a shouting match with Elon Musk. It is said that Duffy, he's the transportation secretary. You know, Duffy, who from the Real World, he got into it because Elon Musk wanted him to fire air traffic controllers at the point where we have had all of these crashes and evacuations and near misses and planes landing on their roof on runways. He wanted him to fire air traffic controllers. And Elon Musk was like, no, I didn't. Well, who did you fire then? He said, I didn't fire anyone. Give me the names of the people you fired then. He said, I didn't fire anyone. How am I going to fire anyone when I got all this stuff going on with the planes going down and all of this type of stuff? And he said, well, you have my number. You can call me. And then Marco Rubio lit into him because that USAID is under Marco Rubio's authority. And USAID, you know, he has shuttered USAID for the most part. However, they have had court rulings which demand that they allow the money that has been allotted by Congress to go through. And after they were told by a federal judge that they have to disperse that money, they still didn't disperse the money. And what they did was they took it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court told them the exact same thing. And then so I think it's today by noon that they have to go to the original judge who told them that they had to disperse. I think it's $2 trillion that they have withheld that has already been allotted by Congress, that they have to release these funds. So, babies starving, be damned. They don't want to do this. So at what point should Marco Rubio lose his job because he's not doing a good and efficient job? How is his job being efficient at cutting costs when he is cutting people who have very strategic jobs? And how is he cutting costs when people have to be reinstated to these positions? How is he cutting costs when the Department of, I think, what is it? It was either the CDC or the Department of Agriculture had to bring back 1,500 people and for at least 45 days so they can figure out if they were wrongly fired. So he's over the Department of Government Efficiency. So it doesn't seem like he is doing his job well. So at what point does he get fired? So the Marco Rubio thing, they get into it. He tells Marco Rubio that you haven't fired enough people. And Marco Rubio goes, well, what do you call the 1,500 people that either took an early buyout or early retirement? What do you call that? And he said that you're not good for anything. The only person I can see you fired is one Doge person. And let's talk about Doge. Where is this woman that they say is over Doge? Since they introduced this woman name, I have not seen hide or hair of this woman who is allegedly over Doge. What is that woman's name? Where is she? She was supposed to be on a 2-week vacation in Mexico, but there has still been no hide or hair of this woman. Let me see if I can find her picture even. I showed you this woman, but now everything is all Elon Musk. They have not attempted to bring this woman forward, who they say is really over Doge, because in court rulings, they had to deny any instance that Elon Musk was over Doge, because they know he passed no clearances, no background checks, no drug tests. Do we have a whole addict that is making all of these wrong decisions? Shouldn't that be looked into? Shouldn't we have to make sure that somebody who is at the forefront of displacing workers isn't all hyped up on ketamine or other illicit drugs? I think I do believe so. I think it would be imperative if we knew this type of information. What about you guys? So how is it that he is that high up in government, but he doesn't have to do any of the things that the regular people in government have to do? I can't find her picture. I'm sorry. I was going to put her up. I forgot her name even. I never hear her name anymore. You guys remember that? If you don't, go back in my videos. I actually, wait a minute. Let me do something right quick. Let me find her. I'm going to find her by hook or by crook. Okay, let's find her. Okay, here she is. I will share this page. Y'all remember my live last week? Let me share my screen with you. I did a live last week And here is the woman. Okay. Y'all see this? Yes, y'all see this. Okay, it would be the woman on the second row, the third picture. That is allegedly who is over Doge. So if you want to hear the story about how she is over Doge and who this woman is, that is the video entitled Harpo, Who This Woman? Harpo, who this woman? They say she over Doge. Who this woman, Harpo? That's the woman that they say is over Doge. The second row, the third picture, that's who, for court proceeding purposes, who is over Doge. So I also want to share this link with you guys. Good morning, 313. How are you? Good morning, Miss Queenie. Miss Queenie, if you come tomorrow, I should have that information that we discussed. Come through tomorrow. Let me share this screen with you guys, and this is about the Marco Rubio and Duffy clash in the White House.
Inside the White House between Elon Musk and several members of Donald Trump's new cabinet, with Donald Trump sort of reduced to the role of spectator. The Times cites 5 people with knowledge of the confrontation, reports this about an argument between Elon Musk and Marco Rubio. Quote, "You fired nobody," Musk told Rubio, then scornfully added that perhaps the only person he had fired was a staff member from his Department of Government Efficiency. Rubio had been privately furious with Musk for weeks, ever since his Doge team effectively shuttered an entire agency that was supposedly under Rubio's control, the United States Agency for International Development. Musk was not being truthful, Rubio said. What about the more than 1,500 State Department officials who took early retirement in buyouts? Didn't they count as layoffs, he asked sarcastically, whether Musk wanted him to rehire all those people just so he can make a show of firing them again. Then he laid out his detailed plans for reorganizing the State Department. Musk was unimpressed. He told Rubio he was, quote, good on TV, with the clear subtext being he wasn't good for much else. Where was Donald Trump in all this? The Times reports that he sat back as if he was watching a tennis match. Ultimately, he, quote, intervened to defend, wait for it, Rubio. Said he was doing a great job. Rubio has a lot to deal with, the president said. He's very busy. He's always traveling and on TV. And he has an agency to run. So everyone just needs to work together, end quote. And then for the first time since his inauguration, Trump put some restraints on Elon Musk. From this reporting, quote, from now on, he said, the secretaries would be in charge. The Musk team will only advise. Joining our coverage, host of MSNBC's Politics.
And see, the tell was in that statement is from now on, which means up until now, Musk was in charge of all of these illegal firings. Not the pasty fat face lady. No, Musk has been in charge of all. That's what he admitted. What he would not, what he denied in court documents, he admitted. But he must have realized that it must be when he realized that he fucked up. He probably didn't realize that he fucked up. But somebody else surely said, you put your foot in your mouth when you said that. So how can he take his foot out of his mouth? Let's hear what he told the press about this argument. This is him. Okay. Addressing the argument when asked. Let me make sure it's not on double speed. Okay. Normal speed. Okay.
You last spoke about it yesterday. Some details have come out about your cabinet meeting with Elon Musk and some clashes potentially between Secretary Rubio and Secretary Doge.
No clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup.
No clash. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not even supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. Really, bitch? Excuse me, bitch? Let's hear this lie again. There was no clash. I was there, and you're obviously a troublemaker.
Clash, I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
Mr. President,
Who are you with? Who are you with? Oh, no wonder. That's enough. NBC.
Who has more authority, Elon Musk or the cabinet secretary?
Any other questions?
Sir, just on the cabinet meeting, you said Musk will play an advisory role, Doge will play.
We're talking about FIFA. Thank you very
About
much.
the World Cup, Mr. President, you're having.
And they're both great guys. And by the way, they both get along fantastically well. Marco has done unbelievably as Secretary of State, and Elon is a very unique guy who's done a fantastic job.
Do you think he needs to be reined in, Mr.
Enough,
President?
enough.
Let me see this.
The fastest growing scam of 20.
Hold on. Let me I think something is new on the horizon. Let's see. I think this is new. Oh, that's them. I will not play them ass kissers. No. Please like and subscribe. This is crazy how a foreigner has so much control over our country. I definitely agree. I think that, let me close the poll. He's so full of it. Okay, let me close the poll right now and see what you guys voted on the poll. 62 people voted on the poll. And the results are, should Elon be fired? 51% believe that he should be fired and deported. 20% says, I think he's ruining. I think he is ruining. That's supposed to be the U.S. for free. Okay. I think he's ruining the U.S. for free. 20% says he should be fired with the quickness, and 6% said they think that he's doing a good job. Lovely one, thank you for the Cash App. I realized that I gotten a Cash App for you days before, and after I guess so many days you're not able to respond. But lovely one, I was waiting on you to come back to thank you for your Cash App. Church Mouse, I am glad that you learned something today. Thank you for helping me get to my goals. Let me see what else I wanted to share with you guys. Is there anything? Oh, did you guys watch Just Kimmy yesterday? Just Kimmy came back and she had a very interesting live, very eventful live. I haven't seen that 6% must be trolling. I concur. I was like, what? Show your face, 6%. Show your face, 6%. Okay. Okay. Let me share this with you. Okay. So, in the same report that I showed you about the Defense Department allowing right-wing extremists, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, and the Ku Klux Klan, there is also a story about why black students can't learn about their actual history. So I wanted to play this for you guys as well.
The The Council on American Islamic Relations has issued a travel advisory warning immigrants from majority Muslim nations not to leave.
And we want them to keep the good people. And so we're going to be watching them, and Elon and the group are going to be watching them. And if they can cut, it's better. And if they don't cut, then Elon will do the cutting.
Are bracing themselves after Trump said he's considered revoking TPS for them. Groups like the Ukraine country for assisting U.S.
Let me find the timestamp. I have lost the timestamp for that. Hold on. Let me stop screen. Hold on 1 second. I gotta find that timestamp. Okay. I found it. Okay, let me share screen with you once again. All of the links are in the description box.
Attorneys general from 8 states have filed a lawsuit against the Education Department, accusing the agency of unlawfully slashing more than $600 million in federal grants for teacher training programs that had already been appropriated by Congress. The Trump administration froze the funds in February, claiming they're used to promote what it called divisive ideologies like anti-racism. On Thursday, Senate Democrats.
Teaching anti-racism is divisive. That's divisive. But accepting the Proud Boys, the Ku Klux Klan, and what's the other one? These right-wing extremists into our military is not divisive. So they are trying to recreate the future of this country that does not know the real facts of history in this country, and they're being sued about it. Another suit about money that has already been allocated by Congress that they are holding because it doesn't match their values, as if their values are something to value. Let's continue.
Including Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy, slammed reports that Trump's preparing to sign an executive order abolishing the Department of Education.
So if the Department of Education closes, it's going to hurt millions of families in this country. It's just going to enable the theft of resources from regular families to pad the pockets of the billionaires. But it is also likely to result in you waking up one day and finding out that your local elementary school that your kids go to is owned by a private equity firm on the other side of the country and is being run for profit.
A federal judge Thursday ruled Trump illegally fired a member of the National Labor Relations Board in January and ordered Gwen Wilcox be reinstated.
Now, she is the first Black woman to ever hold this position, and it is clear that 45, 47, or any president cannot fire anyone in this position. But I wonder why she was fired. I wonder why this Black woman was fired. Let's continue.
Judge Beryl Howell wrote, quote, "A president who touts an image of himself as a king or a dictator, perhaps as his vision of effective leadership, fundamentally misapprehends the role under Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution," unquote. In related news, the nonprofit union focused.
Unquote. So if you guys are not subscribed to Democracy Now!, I think it would be a good thing. Unlike this for-profit media, you hear stories that never come up in the purview a lot of times in the for-profit media. That's why I drop my links in the chat. Let me see what you guys are saying, if anything, about that. Congressman Al Green introduced impeachment articles months ago, but I thought I heard him say the day that they impeached him that he was striking up his impeachment articles. But it does seem that either he has, or he is, or he will. Grand Rising Candy Cane, why haven't the impeachment process started yet? Because he certainly made the country mad. It's beyond him making the country mad. It's about him doing illegal things that he is not supposed to do. The courts have ruled against all of these things that are unconstitutional that he's doing. With this many rulings from the courts, and him even saying, "Oh, he did." Okay, thank you, Nappy Child. Okay, so let's see where that's gonna go. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, unfortunately, because these Republicans, instead of meeting with their constituents and getting read for the facts of their lives by their own constituents, by their own voters, and trying to play like, oh, they're actors that are coming into their town halls, and these are not really their voters, and these are Democratic operatives who are coming in to make them look bad. No, motherfuckers, these are your voters. So much to the fact that they are not going to be doing any more town hall meetings. Can you imagine that? Me and a view were laughing because you were the only one who don't check yours. Girl, I saw it days later. I'm giving the 6% the side eye, but hey, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has them. 4547 is selling and grifting from the White House. It's disgusting. Yes, it really is. Thank you, Nessa A. Nessa A, I hope you gave that because you learned something. I'm just trying to really they scared of their own. Yes, they are scared of their own. And the thing about it is they are scared because Elon Musk said if they don't go along with the president, he will pay for someone to primary against them. But the simple fact is, if they continue, hold on. If they continue to side with him, okay, she woke him up. That's my alarm, and I had to make sure my dog was going to wake him up, and she woke him up. Okay, so if they continue to side with him, they're not going to win the election anyway. So either way they go, they're not going to win their election. If they scared that Elon is going to put someone up against them to primary them, he said he would pay for it. But look at your constituents. They're not going to vote for you either anyway. So at least have some courage to say what you believe and not uphold stuff that you know is wrong and illegal tactics. I don't understand it. Yes, given because I did learn some things thanks to you, thanks to the people who are reporting on this. So I can't believe they're letting Orange and Pickle Face get away with what they're doing. It's just maddening. It's just like maddening. But that's what's going on. Now, since they said that they will not be doing their own town hall meetings, Bernie Sanders and a couple of other Democrats. Hold on. and other Democrats are going to red states, red districts, and doing their own town hall. And I am going to end this. You guys don't have to stay for the whole thing. I'm going to end it with one of Bernie Sanders' town hall in a red state that is jam packed. Okay. That was one of my favorite ringtones. Did you hear the dog barking? She knows she knows that that's the time when she hear the second alarm, she knows that that's the alarm to get her best friend up to play with her. And she she kills me. These dogs try to act like they have more sense than you. Yeah, they like, oh, it's time for my buddy to get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. I tell you, let me see what else I have for you guys today. Let me see. So there was something from Reese Waters that I wanted you guys to see as well. I didn't put it in my list of things. Let me see. Don't want silent protests. Recession or nah. Death freeze. Let me see this. 328. Okay. Okay, let me share this with you. This is some of the things that these cuts, the results of some of these cuts, that they were told to reinstate the money, but they have not as of them going to the Supreme Court. And this is some of the things that it has caused.
Rearmament, unquote. The Trump administration's cuts to the U.S. Agency for International Development are likely to cause enormous human suffering, leading to increased death and disability, accelerated disease spread, political instability, and heightened threats to U.S. national security. That's according to an internal USAID memo obtained by the New York Times, which looked at the impact Trump's freeze will have on life-saving humanitarian assistance if it's made permanent. The memo projects 1 million children will lose treatment for severe acute malnutrition each year. 200,000 children will become paralyzed with polio annually. Up to 18 million more people will become infected with malaria, with up to 166,000 additional deaths each year, and much more. The memo is written by USAID's acting assistant administrator for global health, Nicholas Enrich. Over the weekend, Enrich was placed on administrative leave.
So he said that, he gave you the facts, and then he was placed on administrative leave. How dare you give factual information? How dare you? Hey, thank you, Candy Cane. I appreciate Bernie should have been president. Yes, he should have. Ronnie Q, are you still crafting? You keep ignoring my question. Jill, I'm sorry I didn't see you ask. I met my goal. Thank you guys for helping me meet my goal. Thank you. I appreciate it. Did the oh yes, all the confetti is falling down. Thank you guys. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you being here. And I'm happy I've helped you guys learn something. I believe the Republicans, once elected, are organized and receive all kinds of perks, i.e., inside trading for selling out their souls in the nation. You could be on to something, because they come in as regular people and they always go out millionaires. A lot of racists have been coming out violating us boldly because of Trump's undertones of being one himself. Now, you're going to have to go back to the beginning, because the first video I shared was that the defense trying to root out right-wing extremists from the military because it is against 4547's policies. And even though they are aware that they have people in their services from the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, and the Ku Klux Klan, they will no longer be trying to root them out of the military. Please, yes, you're right. Jill, yes, I'm still crafting. I'm ignoring your questions because I haven't looked at the calendar yet. I didn't see your questions really, but I don't have an answer for you today. Oh, you didn't ask me in this slide. It was the last slide. I haven't looked at my calendar. I'm going to look at the calendar today and get that calendar together for you guys. Okay. Z Sarah, thank you for being here. Just getting in my bag together for my trip to Malaga? Malaga. Where's Malaga? Let me Google that. I got to Google that one. It's a autonomous community of Andalu Adusa. I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh, it's in South Liberia. Okay. And I've heard of Liberia. It's in southern Liberia on the coast of Del Sol, coast of the sun, of the Mediterranean. Oh, that sounds nice. I hope you have a fantastic trip. That sounds nice. Traveling Grace. How you gonna do yours on March 22nd? Yeah, you already got your date set. Grand Rising Chills Comfort Zone. In Spain, far south. It does sound like a fabulous trip. Safe travels. How long are you going to be? How long are you going to be there? I talked about those Black farmers that are supplying food for USAID, and they're losing money as well, and the people who need the food are losing food. And that's supposed to be Marco Rubio's. He's supposed to be over there, and Elon Musk went in and fired all of these people, and have all of these people in limbo. And the judges have come back and said that they must pay all of the money that Congress has allotted for these USAID deals that have the money has already been allotted for. And so that, let's be clear, that's why he and Marco Rubio got into it. So and found out many of his firings were illegal, and up to 15 people in, I think it was the CDC. I can't remember if it was the CDC or the Department of Agriculture put back to work to find out if their firings were done properly. So it's just a whole mess. Now, this South African in here just ruining our government. You're going to be there a whole month. Be back on April 11th. Well, I really hope you have a great time. Well, if you've been now, now I know. Okay, I'm gonna get on that after my live today. I will do do that. Ain't gonna have you out here fronting on me, talking about if I'd have been paying attention, I'd have known some stuff. Let me see. Okay, so I have a clip about them having to unfreeze the money. I'm trying to remember. Okay, I'm trying to remember it. I have it right here. That they. Wait a minute. Okay, let me share this with you. Oh, I already shared it with you. I already shared that with you about them having to unfreeze the money. God dang it. Let me go back and see one last thing that I want to share with you. The biggest thing that I wanted to share with you, you guys, was all of the stuff I've already and since these judges have been, oh my God, they have taken the video down about judges getting death threats. Let me see if I can. Wow. These judges who have been making these calls against 45, 47 have been getting death threats. Yeah, they took the video down. Let me see if I can find another one. Okay, I found one. And if you like this video, this is another person that I would suggest you subscribe to as well. Okay, hold on. Let me share my page. They had taken that one down. Let's see about the death threats. You remember Trump said if a man I don't know. I forget the quote that he said, some crazy quote. If a man is protecting their nation, they break no laws after one of the rulings. And then he started calling himself a king because of these rulings, and now all of a sudden these judges who are making rulings that are against what he's doing are getting death threat. Dolomore Daily. This is one of the people I suggest you may want to peruse their content, and you might want to subscribe. Independent media. Also, the Midas Touch. There's several. Yeah, the ones that I.
The overarching conservative ideology is kind of rules for thee, but not for me. What applies to you plebs, you little people, that can't apply to me. I'm important. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now relative to threats to federal judges, death threats, threats of violence, harassment, stalking. And it's coming from Elon Musk, a guy who just went on Joe Rogan, couldn't shut his mouth about how I'm going to get myself killed. I'm going to get myself assassinated. He's gleeful about it because it makes him important, I guess. Join the club, brother. Lots of us get death threats. What's interesting about the whining and complaining and broadcasting and talking about it constantly about the threats that Elon Musk says he's getting, is that he is in turn endangering the lives of federal judges through his putting them on blast on Twitter all the time, to his unhinged cult of Donald Trump. Get a load of this headline from Reuters. Judges face rise in threats as Musk blasts them over rulings. U.S. Marshals have warned federal judges of unusually high threat levels as tech billionaire Elon Musk and other Trump administration allies ramp up efforts to discredit judges who stand in the way of the White House effort to slash federal jobs and programs, said several judges with knowledge of the warnings. What's interesting about this comes on the heels of the interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, who would handle a lot of this, who is, instead of protecting judges who are under threat because of Donald Trump and Elon Musk, he's spending his time posting on Instagram and Twitter about how he is Donald Trump's lawyer. He's not. And that his job is to fight to protect Trump's leadership, which it's not. And that he sees it fit in his job description to go after companies using the color of law and the power of the Department of Justice and his office of the United States Attorney in the District of Columbia, to go after news outlets who don't put America first, rather than protecting federal judges who are only under threat because of Elon Musk, the man who whines that he himself is receiving death threats. Fantastic. Sounds great, does it not? In recent weeks, Musk, congressional Republicans, and other top allies of U.S. President.
So he is trying to act as if you should care that I'm putting myself in the way of harm. Somebody's going to hurt me. I am in danger. 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 Get on the move. Go to South Africa. You're in danger. Hey, no pressure. This is a damn shame. Yes, he can get arrested. He may have diplomatic immunity. Remember on Lethal Weapon? I have diplomatic immunity. I think that character was on Lethal Weapon was from South Africa as well. The very first Lethal Weapon. You guys remember that? And after all that mayhem and all that stuff that went on, they cried diplomatic immunity. I don't know. Let me finish up a little bit.
President dipshit Trump have called for the impeachment of some federal judges or attack their integrity in response to court rulings that have slowed the Trump administration's moves to dismantle entire government agencies and fire tens of thousands of workers. Musk, the world's richest person, has lambasted judges in more than 30 posts since the end of January on his social media site Twitter, calling them corrupt, radical, evil, and deriding the tyranny of the judiciary.
So imagine all of this in the wake of January 6th, these people being riled up behind January 6th. And now he's putting this out. And let's not forget that his posts are in an algorithm where they are played to people who don't even subscribe to him, don't like him on X. He had the algorithm changed so his posts would be heightened over 100 times more than the average post. So a lot of these sycophants are seeing all of this type of stuff that he's writing. So the fact that he has the algorithm gigged up so more people will see what he's writing, and these are the things that he's writing, I don't think that this should be stood for.
After judges block parts of the federal downsizing that he's led. The Tesla CEO and former illegal, that wasn't in there, I just added that in there. You know, I like factual reporting. The Tesla CEO and former illegal immigrant has also reposted nearly 24 tweets by others attacking judges. Reuters interviews with 11 federal judges in multiple districts revealed mounting alarm over their physical security and, in some cases, a rise in violent threats in recent weeks. Most anonymity and said they did not want to further inflame the situation or make comments that could be interpreted as conflicting with their duties of impartiality. The Marshals Service declined to comment on security matters. On social media, Musk and Republican lawmakers have described judges as threats to democracy, turning the role of the federal judiciary, a branch of government created to check executive and congressional power, on its head. Quote, the only way to restore rule of the people in America is to impeach judges, Musk wrote in one post. No one is above the law, including judges, including you, Elon Musk. Just because the Republican Party has a real hard one for billionaires and worships at your feet and licks between your toes like the gross Republican eroticism they love to put on display every day.
Okay, so I think I'll end there. So go check the rest of that video out. And I thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate your support. This is the name I remember. He's pretty good. I watched him a couple of times. Let me see. One more. It may be one more. I want to let you guys see a little bit of Lord. Let's see. Let me see if this is the one. Let me see if this is it. I think this is it. Okay. This is about 45-47, declaring war on veterans. So I'm gonna let you hear one man's experience by being fired by Doge. Trump and Musk declare a war on veterans. Let me give you the link. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I'll add it to my description box after this live. So this is on Reese Waters' channel. This man recounting his experience being fired by Doge.
I'm troubled.
James Diaz started his job at the IRS office in Galesburg last April. First as a tax advisory specialist, then a few months later as a fuel compliance officer, a move he took as a promotion with a pay raise.
This right here is my termination letter.
A week ago today, Diaz was fired, receiving a letter from the Federal Office of Personnel Management.
Here's where it comes. Taking into account your performance and in light of mission needs, the agency finds that your continued employment at this agency is not in the public interest.
Diaz is a
Okay, so let's understand that unfortunately, when they get a promotion, they are in a probationary. So let's not let's not forget that that was one of the main groups of people who they were firing, people who were on probation. His termination had no start date, and it had no name on it. That's another thing. You're on probation. You're fired.
Combat
and then
veteran.
they tried to lie and say it was because of your performance. No, it's because they are doing a poor performance. And we understand that people who were over our nuclear arsenal were summarily fired in the same manner, and try to rehire them the next day without a way to contact these people who had very important jobs. So this is par for the course for how Doge had been hiring people. So at what point is Doge need to be fired? Let's continue.
He served in the Army during the first Gulf War. After working as a truck driver and in manufacturing factories, he got his college degree in 2020.
I am upset, mad, and just confused at how they could treat people who put their life on the line for the country, who put themselves in harm's way, can be treated like this.
He says his OMP letter implies he was underperforming, something he calls a lie.
This was my first boss's narrative on my performance.
Diaz showed us his performance reviews.
You consistently take steps to identify and avoid work delays. You attempt to use your time in an efficient manner, whether waiting on customers, researching, or other duties assigned. You keep yourself constantly busy with productive work. Absolutely directly contradicts what I've got in that OPM letter.
He took pride working for the federal government. Now, as he's left to find a new job, all he feels is frustration.
I voted for Trump, and I still support, a lot of his policies, but I don't necessarily support.
You support a lot of his policies, but only not only when they don't support you. Okay, so there's that.
The method that he's implementing them.
Yet, according to a Pew poll shortly before the 2024 election, 60% of the 16 million Americans who have served in the military supported Donald Trump, and 55% believed his policies would make things better for veterans. Now, this is something that I need to try and understand, because Donald Trump did not ever run against a veteran or somebody who had served in the military. So you don't have that direct connection. It's not like, the police voting against an attorney general or anything like that. But one thing we do know is he got 5 deferments from the military. And we also understand this narrative of poor people and disenfranchised communities fighting rich people's wars. So he got a whole pass on that. And then you have the reports of him calling veterans stupid and not understanding their sacrifice when he went over to Europe.
Tonight, for the first time, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, is responding to shocking comments posted online by Donald Trump. The former president suggested last Friday that the nation's highest-ranking military officer deserves to be executed for communications the general had with China during the final months of the Trump administration.
Can't fit in.
Okay, so go over there and check that out. That is just the start of the video. So I'm gonna leave you guys with this, and I will not be back. I just want you to listen to this rally if you choose to, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow. All right. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day.
Thank you, Altoona. This is an unbelievable turnout. I want to thank all of you for being here this afternoon. I want to thank Altoona High School, Police Music, Joanna and Cindy and Bill for their wonderful remarks. Love you too. And I got to tell you, being here is like being in rural Vermont. Most of Vermonters live in towns like Altoona. I would say well over half the people in Vermont live in towns of 500 or less. So in fact, Altoona would be one of the state of Vermont. So why was I in Kenosha last night? We had a great turnout. Why am I here this afternoon? Why am I heading to Warren, Michigan this evening? And the answer is that we have some serious problems in this country, and together we're going to address them. And given what is going on in Washington right now, how we respond to this moment, and things are going on literally every day. Pick up the paper, something new is happening. How we respond together to this moment will impact not only our lives, but our kids' lives and the future of this planet. So what we are doing right now is making it clear here in Altoona and all over this country that the American people, and I believe this, even whether you're conservative, you're progressive, you're moderate, you're independent, Republican, Democrat, you know what? The American people do not want a handful of billionaires in our government. And the American people want a president and an administration that respects the Constitution and does not move us toward an authoritarian form of society. You know, I got to tell you, in Vermont, I don't know how you do it here in Wisconsin, but in Vermont, and we a few days ago, all over the state, small towns have meetings and they argue about how much they want to put into the schools and the roads. And everybody gets up and they yell and they scream and they do their thing. It's called democracy. And you know what? I don't know how many of you remember this. Winston Churchill said, he said, democracy is the worst form of government except for all others. So we prefer the arguing and the yelling and the debating rather than have a handful of people telling us how to live our lives. And I've been thinking about something lately. I go to a Memorial Day parade in a town called Vergennes, Vermont, northern Vermont. It's a lovely parade, a lot of people out. And at the end of the parade, a couple of hundred people come to the town green, and the organizers, people give speeches, I give a speech, and they always bring a kid from the high school up. And they have that kid read the Gettysburg Address that Lincoln gave. And that seems so relevant today. In 1863, a few days after the terrible Battle of Gettysburg, where thousands, tens of thousands of people had died fighting to end the horror of slavery. And Lincoln goes there a few days later, and he looks out on the battlefield. And this is what he said. And some of you, I'm sure many of you are familiar with this. He said that we here highly resolve that these dead, those people who had died in the battle, shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom. And then he said, and that government of the people, by people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. And that is why I am in Altoona with you today. Let me tell you what we're up against, and I want to be very honest with you. I want you to think back some 6 weeks or so ago when Trump was inaugurated as president. And I was there. I was kind of right up front where you are. They pushed me. I don't know why I ended up front, but I was there. It's not exactly the front row seat that I wanted, but there I was. And right behind President Trump, as you may recall, as he was taking the oath of office, were the 3 wealthiest men in the country. Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg. But that's not enough. Standing behind those guys were 13 other billionaires who were nominated by Trump to head up major government agencies. In other words, it was all there for everybody to see. They weren't hiding anything. I got to give them credit for that. You know, the Trump administration is a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, and for the billionaire class. You know, for a number of years, I have been talking about how our nation is moving toward an oligarchic form of society. My friends, we are no longer moving toward oligarchy. We are living in oligarchy. And as we assemble here today, we are going to make it very clear that oligarchy is not what this country is about.
If feet are numb and the sensation won't go away, do this 30-second biblical ritual to relieve nerve pain. Christians, did you know there's a biblical solution to be free from neuropathy? It has always been hidden in plain sight, right in the Gospel of John. And what is one of the scariest side effects of diabetic neuropathy? Losing a foot. Anyone who has been battling tingling in their hands and feet, numbness, and burning for more than 60 days needs to see this. What if there's a way to easily restore anyone's feet and hands to healthy levels and no longer worry about nerve damage in just 21 days? Well, there is. And the most shocking part? This discovery wasn't found deep in Big Pharma's labs, but in the Bible. Typically, nerve pain starts when a sticky substance seeps into one of the many peripheral nerves. From there, it embeds deep into the cells of the hands and feet and begins to spread. Most people start feeling weakness, numbness, burning, and by the time all this is felt, the problem has already spiraled out of control. This is bad because if untreated, this toxic substance in the nerves of the feet can spread to the other foot and even the leg, causing unwanted pain, sleepless nights, and even loss of mobility. In some cases, it can compromise the immune system, leading to blood poisoning, necrosis, and much, much more. But the good news is that a world-renowned longevity specialist and former NASA scientist recently discovered a proven, all-natural way to restore the health of our toes and eliminate this sticky substance. It's a simple 30-second ritual that can wipe out even the toughest cases of neuropathy and stop it from coming back. Now, this simple ritual doesn't require ineffective painkillers or time-consuming exercises, and it can work for anyone, even if the neuropathy has been around for 2 months, 2 years, or even 2 decades. It's so effective that, although this discovery was only released to the general public a few weeks ago, it has already exploded in popularity and is now one of the most sought-after solutions to treat neuropathy. And this solution has been hidden in plain sight for over 1,000 years. Doc recently had a major reading the Gospel of John, words he had read dozens of times. But this time was different because he experienced a revelation that led him to create an entirely new solution that attacks the true root cause of nerve pain, reducing and even eliminating neuropathy completely in just 21 days. So, For everyone who's tried everything to get rid of nerve pain and nothing has worked, simply click the blue, watch the informative presentation, and discover the biblical solution for chronic neuropathy found in the Gospel of John. That's why I urge everyone to stop whatever they're doing and watch a short, free special video that within the first 3 minutes explains how this unique solution can restore healthy nerves and reduce burning, tingling, and numbness for the rest of our lives. Click the blue button and watch before it's too late.
Thick mucus making it impossible to breathe? Did you know that mucus buildup and breathing difficulties are your body's warning signs of something potentially serious happening in your lungs? Your lungs are designed to deliver oxygen to every cell in your body. But when they're clogged with trapped mucus, every breath becomes a battle. Here's the problem. While medications, steroids, or inhalers may help with the symptoms, they usually do not address the underlying cause. Listen. Over time, the effects of trapped mucus and restricted breathing can become more severe. You might find yourself gasping for air after simple tasks, avoiding activities you once loved, or waking up in the middle of the night choking on thick mucus. And eventually, these symptoms may worsen your chronic fatigue or increase your risk for frequent. This is when you start to realize your condition isn't just part of aging or something you have to live with. And suddenly, everyday activities like playing with your kids or grandkids, gardening, or even walking to the mailbox can feel overwhelming and exhausting. Luckily, there's now a solution. One of the country's top-rated respiratory health experts made a shocking discovery while studying the effects of the to discover a hidden and cause an overproduction of mucus nets in your lungs. This overproduction creates a traffic jam of thick phlegm and mucus that becomes trapped in your airways, making it difficult to breathe freely. But more importantly, she revealed a simple method that works to dissolve the mucus buildup and clear it from your lungs. In fact, thousands of people who once struggled with debilitating coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath have regained their energy and independence every day. I urge you to take a moment and tap on the link below. A free exclusive video was created by this respiratory expert. Remember, this has nothing to do with respiratory therapy, humidifiers, or over-the-counter meds, as this is something you can effortlessly do from home. Just like Cynthia, a single mom from Nebraska, who said this.
I felt like I was suffocating every day, but after trying this 7-second ritual, my lungs are clearer than they've been in years. I finally breathe deeply and enjoy life with my kids again.
Picture a life where you're not constantly concerned about coughing fits or breathing difficulties. Picture breathing deeply and comfortably as fresh air fills your lungs, helping you feel more at ease. What's even better, you could wake up feeling refreshed, breathing clearly without the concerns of mucus or wheezing. Tap the link below before it's too late.
I want to mention something, and I honestly don't understand it. We have people like Musk and others, people who have more wealth. They can fulfill all their family needs for 100 generations. I mean, billions and billions of dollars. And yet, despite all of their wealth, they want more and more and more. And I honestly don't understand. Everybody here wants to be comfortable. Everybody here wants to make money. We all want to retire with dignity, want to take care of our kids. That's kind of natural. But what these guys have is a very serious problem. You know, we have in Vermont, and I'm sure in Wisconsin, serious addiction problems, correct? I mean, it is horrible. I mean, in Vermont, we're really dealing with a lot of drug addiction, with overdoses. It's a national problem. We have people who have serious alcohol problems. People have food problems, tobacco problems. A lot of people have addictions. But I will tell you what the most serious addiction is. It is the addiction of greed of this billionaire class. How much do you need to live? And there is no stopping them. And what is scary is right now, they are prepared to dismember the federal government and cut programs that low-income and working-class people desperately need so that they can give themselves an enormous tax break of over $1 trillion. By the way, the reason we have picked, as I mentioned earlier, we were a couple of weeks ago in Omaha and Iowa City, and tonight here we're in various towns in the Midwest. It's not an accident where we are going. The reason we are in this community is you have a congressman who won by a somewhat slim margin. Now, I am here, we're doing a town meeting. Now, I come from Vermont. Well, I think if I'm from Vermont doing a town meeting here, your own congressman should come here. And I think you should be very polite and respectful. He gets a chance to talk, explain his point of view, and you have the right to ask questions. And I think the key question in Wisconsin and all over America is why the of $1 trillion tax break for the 1% and massive cuts to Medicaid, nutrition, and education. And here's the point, again, why I am here. In the House, as I think many of you know, the Republicans have, it's very tight. They have a 3-seat of 3 out of 435 people. If two Republicans, members of the House, go to their leader and say, you know what? I got a lot of constituents who are on Medicaid. I got a lot of kids who need nutrition programs. And you know what? I am not going to vote to cut Medicaid to give tax breaks to billionaires. If two Republican congressmen say that, we have defeated their proposal. That's what we've got to do. Now, what does an $888 billion cut to Medicaid? It means that millions of kids right now who are on Medicaid will be thrown off of their health insurance. It means, and this is not widely known, I know in Vermont that I think it's true all over the country, we got nursing homes that are really, really struggling, right? Okay. 2/3 of the people who are in nursing homes are funded by Medicaid. So if you make massive cuts to Medicaid, your mom, your dad, may not be able to stay in a nursing home or get the quality of care they need in that nursing home. I have worked very hard over the years to expand community health centers throughout Vermont. Because I have the radical idea that when people get sick, they should be able to walk into a doctor's office. And today, some 32 million Americans utilize community health centers. That's primary health care. Dental care is a big deal, right? Mental health, lower cost prescription drugs. 40% of the funding for community health centers comes from Medicaid. You cut Medicaid, significantly harder for people to get primary health care in America. But what else are they going after? It's not just Medicaid. It is also Social Security. At a time when millions of seniors are struggling to heat their homes, and we know what cold weather is about, right? Or to buy prescription drugs, Musk and his cohorts plan to fire over half the workers at the Social Security Administration. Now, what does that mean in real terms? It means right now, the Social Security Administration is significantly understaffed. And I get calls every day from people. I'm trying to get a hold of Social Security. They're not returning my calls. It's taking me too long. Right now, And there are some 30, I mean, you want to hear something that is so horrible, given the fact that we are the richest country on earth, is that 30,000 Americans die every year waiting for an understaffed Social Security to approve disability benefits today. All right? Can you imagine somebody's old, they're on disability, they can't get the benefits, they die earlier than they should. If these cuts go through, the number of people who die will go up very significantly. That is not what this country is about, and we're not going to allow that to happen. But it is not just Medicaid that they want to cut or Social Security. They're going after the Veterans Administration. Do we have any veterans or veteran families in the room right now? Well, thank you.
Most people my age are slowing down, but I'm more active than ever. Hi, my name's Dr. Frank Schallenberg.
One of the honors of my life was that several years ago, I chaired the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs. And what I believe is what I think the overwhelming majority of Americans believe, no matter what their political view may be. And that is when somebody puts his or her life on the line to defend this country, we keep the promises we made to those veterans. But Musk and Trump recently announced there was a proposal out there that they want to fire, or they have a planned reduction of 83,000 employees at the Veterans Administration. So what that means is to the veterans, and in Vermont, we have a really, really good VA hospital. Veterans appreciate it, and I'm sure that's true all over the country. What it means is that the quality of health care that veterans get will deteriorate. The amount of time that it takes for them to get the benefits that are due them will become even longer. You do not balance the budget on the backs of the men and women who defended this country. The Veterans of Foreign Wars, that is the second largest veterans organization in the country, they said yesterday, and I quote, "We now call upon VA to reconsider its planned reduction of 83,000 employees." They are right. They are absolutely right. And I call upon the Trump administration to rescind that order. Musk and Trump want to dismantle the Department of Education. 27 million kids in low-income and working-class communities would see their schools lose funding. That means your property taxes would go up. Schools would have less funding to attract teachers. In addition, Pell Grant funding would be cut, making it harder for kids to get a higher education. And if all of that is not bad enough, in the proposal to save money so that we can give tax breaks to the 1%, Trump's budget would cut nutrition assistance by at least $230 billion. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. Think about the fact that in the richest country on earth, we have children who are hungry. That's a disgrace unto itself. But think for a moment about the vulgarity of the richest people in the world trying to get more tax breaks and in the process cutting nutrition programs for hungry children. There is no world, no universe, no religion on earth where that is morally acceptable. So what's going on right now, they are trying to dismember the federal government, and they lie a lot about what government does and does not do. But in the process, hundreds of thousands of federal employees may lose their jobs. And I want to say something, and I want you to think about this for a moment. Now, people may say, well, that's really a bad thing. I worry about somebody losing their job. How are they going to get by? How are they going to get health care, retirement, all that stuff? And we all feel for those men and women. But I also want to tell you that even if you're not in the federal government, pay close attention to what they are doing and how they are doing it. All of you know that there is going to be a technological revolution taking place right now, and that is artificial intelligence and robotics. So you're going to have computers and robots replacing human labor, okay? Now, I happen to believe that if technology can make us more productive, that is a good thing. But the benefits must go to the workers, not just those who own the technology. So if they are prepared to tell workers of the federal government, some of whom have dedicated their whole lives to public service, hey, you're out of here, goodbye. Tell me what you did last week, you're out of here, goodbye, goodbye. What do you think they're going to do to people in the private sector when artificial intelligence comes? You're gone, forget it, you're out on the streets. Our job is to make sure that when you have these technologies, it benefits all of us, not just the few. So pay attention to what's going on. Now, I was, the other day on Tuesday, at Trump's State of the Union. It's my job, I went. And what was very interesting, and it's important to pay attention to this, Trump spoke for 100 minutes. I think it was the longest State of the Union ever. And what he did is created, I think, a parallel universe. What these guys do, which is, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the politicians don't lie. Politicians always have lied and they always have stretched the truth. That's the nature of the game. But what we are seeing now is something very different than what we have seen in the past. It's one thing to stretch the truth, to fib a little bit here. But we are now looking at the phenomenon of the big lie. You all know what that means? What a big lie is about is you say something absurd that is blatantly false, and you say it over and over and over again without shame. Just to give you a few examples, just a few. Trump claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him and that he won by a landslide. That's a lie. And it's a lie. Think about what that lie means. It's to cast doubt on the way we do elections in America. Why do I want to bother to vote? Why do I want to participate in democracy if somebody's going to steal the election? That's what that's about. Trump has claimed that the January 6th insurrection, where people were trying to deny Biden from becoming president, he claimed that that insurrection was a day of love. A lie. And then this great lover of law and order pardoned all these people who injured over 100 police officers on Capitol Hill. Trump has claimed, again, trying to destroy faith in the democratic process. He has claimed that millions of undocumented people vote in American elections. A lie. He has claimed that climate change is a hoax originating in China. And then more recently, he has claimed that Ukraine started the horrific war with Russia. But it was not just Trump. A couple of months ago, and I had worked very hard. I was chairman of a committee called the Health, Education, Labor Committee, and we worked really hard on some public health programs which would have expanded funding for community health centers, would have lowered the cost of prescription drugs as part of a bigger bill called the Continuing Resolution. Democrats, Republicans worked really hard for months. Literally, the day when Congress and the House was going to vote on this, Musk started putting out emails on his Twitter platform, and he said, members of Congress, don't vote for this legislation. It's terrible. It will give members of Congress a 40% increase in their salaries. 40%. Total lie. It was a 3.4% increase. And as a result of what Musk did, that important legislation was defeated. And just last week at his speech, the president repeated the claim that Musk started. That zillions, you all heard, zillions of dead people between the ages of 100 and 500 are collecting Social Security checks.
The fastest growing scam of 2025 is sweeping across the country, draining bank accounts in mere seconds, often before people even know what's happening. Scammers are using RFID.
Total, and what is the reason for doing that? You tell me. Why do you do that? Hold on, raise your hand. Somebody raise their hand. Yeah, why? Good, exactly. Young man here said, put doubt in Social Security. Look, if you're standing out there and somebody says, oh, the whole system is broken, people are 200 years old collecting Social Security, massive fraud, people say, Jesus, do we really want to keep the system? That is the purpose. So let's be clear. Well over 99% of Social Security checks are going out to people who earned those checks. Social Security has been the most successful and popular program in American history. It's a program that has kept millions of seniors from poverty. We're not going to let them destroy Social Security. What these guys are trying to do when they lie and lie and lie, they create a situation in which instead of having serious and honest discussion, people have different points of view. What do we do about Social Security? What do we do about healthcare? What do we do about education? Important issues. What we end up spending half our lives doing is not discussing those issues, but we end up trying to respond to these absolute lies. Now, I want you to think back. I don't know how many of you saw Trump's speech, but if you listen hard to his State of the Union speech, what you observed is that, in fact, he had relatively little to say about the State of the Union. Almost nothing. You know, when you talk about the State of the Union, what it is, okay, what is going on? What's going on in the country? You know, what are the needs of the people? What kind of pain are we seeing? How do we respond? That's what you do. People can disagree, but that's what you do. Unbelievably, Trump spoke for 100 minutes, and he almost completely ignored the issues that are keeping millions of working class people up at night as they worry about how their families are going to survive in these very difficult times. Now, let us, this afternoon, do something really radical. You ready? Let us actually do what Trump did not do, and that is take a look at what is going on in our country, especially for working families. Let's start off with the sad reality that in the richest country in the history of the world, today, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. You all know what living paycheck to paycheck is about? I grew up in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck. And the environment that I grew up in, the life that I had, has shaped who I am as a person and, in fact, my political views. It means, you know what? I'm going to tell you what living paycheck to paycheck, but you know it better than I do. Raise your hand. What is it like living paycheck to paycheck? Who wants to? All right, hold on, one at a time. I can't. Yes. Well, terrible. All right. Yes. Hungry? Hunger. All right, let me get some hands back there. Be loud. We got a hand there. Okay, ma'am. Stressful. Stay on that issue, sir. You're not sure if you're going to be able to keep the heat on. Yes, ma'am. Trying to find a way to plan a meal for until your next paycheck comes. Ma'am? Forget about buying shoes and clothes for your kids. Ma'am? Skipping doctor's visits. Okay, I see a hand back there, sir. Yeah. Fear that your world is going to fall apart, sir. Am I getting glasses, or can I get them for my kids? Sir. Can't plan for the future. Hand back there, sir. Okay, psychological warfare. Yes. You make impossible decisions for your family, sir. General insecurity. Okay, I think you got it. So let me just tell you something on a personal level. My mom died young. Her dream, we lived in an apartment our whole lives, a rent-controlled apartment. Her dream, what she wanted more than anything, was to own our own house. And we never achieved that. We didn't have the money to own our own house and other things. Today in America, we live as a nation shorter lives than people in other wealthy countries. Our life expectancy is low. Do you all know that? So we live about 4 years shorter lives than people in Europe or Japan, etc. And that's bad. But I'm going to tell you something that is even worse, that is almost never discussed at all. And that is, if you are working class in the United States of America, you live 7 years shorter life on average than do wealthy people. In other words, and I'm not just talking about poor people who are living out on the street. They don't live very long. I'm talking about working class in general. 7 years shorter lives than the people on top. Why is that? Help me out here. All right, you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing the word stress. All right? All right, and that's what a lot of your responses were. It deals with stress. What does it mean? And we heard this just now. If you're worried about whether or not you can buy shoes for your kids. What does it mean if you're worried that your landlord's going to raise the rent and you can't afford to pay that rent? Where are you going to live? What does it mean if your car breaks down and you got a $1,000 repair bill, but you can't afford the $1,000? You don't have a car, you can't get to work. And what happens if you can't get to work? What does it mean if your kid says, Mom, I'm sick, and you can't afford to take her to the doctor? You add all of that up. What does it mean if your boss tells you, guess what, you're working the midnight shift because you don't have a regular schedule? You add all of that stuff up, that economic pressure. How do I survive? It wreaks havoc on our bodies and it wreaks havoc on our minds. If we were a poor country, I would come before you and give you a very different speech. I'd say, hey, look, I'm sorry, we're poor. We can't afford decent education, can't afford decent healthcare, can't afford to protect the environment. I want you never to forget, we are the richest country in the history of the world. There is no excuse for people dying young because of that stress. Now, not only, of course, did Trump not deal with that reality, unbelievably, 100-minute speech, he didn't say one word about healthcare. How many of you think the healthcare system in America works well? Well, you're right. We are spending twice as much per capita on healthcare as the people of any other nation. 85 million are uninsured or underinsured. 60,000 people die every year because they don't get to a doctor when they should. Somehow or another, Mr. Trump forgot to talk about healthcare. Maybe it has to do with the fact that he didn't want to antagonize his friends in the insurance industry and the pharmaceutical industry.
Watch this before eating cheese. Number 1, breathe.
Fermented dairy products. Sometimes 10 times more than what Canadians or Europeans are paying. I didn't hear one word from the president dealing with the reality that 1 out of 4 Americans can't afford the prescriptions their doctors prescribe. Amazingly enough, in Vermont, I don't know about here, we have a major housing crisis. You got 800,000 Americans are homeless, and we got 20 million people spending more than 50% of their limited incomes on housing. So if you're spending 50%, what do you got left? Not much, all right? Not one word on the housing crisis. Today in America, we have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had. Not one word from the president on that. Not one word on the fact that the 3 richest guys in the country were standing right behind them own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. Got that? And needless to say, the president had nothing to say about the existential threat of climate change other than drill, baby, drill, which will make a dangerous situation even worse. But it is not only domestic policies that Trump is doing us wrong by. Let's take a look at what's going on internationally. You know, we all grew up understanding that America is the longest standing democracy in the history of the world. We're proud of that. And I'm not here to tell you that our foreign policy has always been right. It has not. But at the end of the day, for people all over the world, the truth is they did look to the United States. They read our Declaration of Independence. They read our Constitution, which is a really extraordinary document being written in the 18th century. They looked to America as a nation of democracy and freedom. And for the first time in the history of our country, we have a president who is allying himself with a ruthless dictator in Russia. And not only that, and this is an issue I have paid a lot of attention to, maybe differences of opinion here, but I have very strongly opposed the U.S. giving military aid to the Netanyahu government in Israel. Trump wants to continue the very dumb policies that Biden had and provide more money for Netanyahu. I'm going to do whatever I can with other members of the Senate to stop more arms sales going to Israel. And also, when you think about who we are as a people, and we are proud of our democratic heritage, we're proud of our generosity, who we are as a people. If you can believe it, Trump is now telling the 2.2 million people who are in Gaza, who have suffered horribly, 45,000 dead, mostly women and kids, whole infrastructure wiped out, over 100,000 wounded. And you know what he's telling them now? You have to leave your homeland because we want to build a playground, a Riviera for the rich. That is almost unspeakable. Now, let me just say that it is not good enough for us to be on the defense fighting Trump and Musk every step of the way. We got to do that, but we have to do something more, and that is get on the offense. And by that, what do I mean by that? The truth of the matter is, you may not see it on TV or read it in the papers, but the truth of the matter is, and we polled on this a dozen times, the American people want fundamental changes in the way government does business. They want a government that works for them, not the billionaire class. So let me very briefly tell you something that is not Bernie Sanders' idea, not your idea. It's ideas supported by the overwhelming majority of the American people, Democrats, Republicans, Independents. Number one, the American people want to end the corrupt campaign finance system that we have. Does anybody in America believe that it is appropriate for somebody like Musk to contribute $270 million to Trump's campaign, and then you get rewarded by becoming the most important man in government? But I got to tell you, it is not just Musk and Republicans, it is Democratic billionaires as well. We are not going to make progress on the issues facing working families unless we have campaign finance reform, unless we get rid of this disastrous Supreme Court decision on Citizens United. And unless we move to public funding of elections. You know what else the American people think? They don't think we should be giving tax breaks to billionaires. And at a time when millions of people all over our country are working for starvation wages, the American people want us to end this absurdity of having a 7.25 federal government minimum wage, raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $17 an hour. Do we have any union members here? Okay. All over this country, workers increasingly understand that if they're going to get decent wages, decent benefits, decent working conditions, they've got to join a union. And millions of people want to join unions, but they're running against corporate opposition. If you want to join a union, you're going to get fired. You're going to be taken into a back room, be lectured about how terrible unions are. You're going to be threatened. Vote for a union. We're taking this plant to China. All of that stuff is illegal, but they get away with it. That is why we got to pass legislation I just introduced, the PRO Act, punishing those corporations who act illegally when workers are trying to form unions. And here's something else the American people understand. Right now, 22% of seniors are living on $15,000 a year or less. Can you believe that? 50% of seniors are living on $30,000 or less. No, we're not going to cut Social Security. We're going to expand Social Security benefits.
Do you know what eating cabbage can do to your heart? Cabbage is a
And here's an issue that the American people also understand. There is something fundamentally wrong when we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right. The function of a sane and rational healthcare system is not to provide huge profits for the insurance industry and the drug companies. The function of a sane system is to provide quality care to all. We are spending twice as much per capita as other countries. We don't even have enough doctors. We don't have enough nurses. We don't have enough dentists. We don't have enough pharmacists. So we got to take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry and the insurance companies. Healthcare is a human right. Let's pass Medicare for all. In the United States of America, we can solve the housing crisis by building at least 4 million units of low-income and affordable housing. Let's put people to work, union jobs, let's do it. And I want you to think about another insanity. We're living in a competitive global economy. We need the best educated workforce in the world. And yet kids, young people, families are going deeply, deeply into debt. For what? So their kids can get a decent education. We should be doing what other countries do. Make public colleges, universities, trade schools, tuition free. And it's not just the college degree. We need plumbers, we need electricians, we need carpenters. We need apprentice programs which give those kids that education without worrying about the cost. And I hear a whole lot of talk about freedom. Well, if anybody in Congress believes in freedom, then stand with the women in this country who should have the freedom to control their own bodies. Look, I know, let me conclude, and you've been very patient, and I appreciate that. I've gone on longer than I thought. But thank you. Look, this is a difficult moment in the history of our country, but I think we all understand that it is not the first difficult moment in the history of our country. And in this moment, despair is not an option. Can't do it. Hiding under the covers as much as we would like to and turning off the TV is not an option. All of you know that real change only occurs not from the top on down, but from the bottom on up. It occurs when ordinary people stand together against wealth and power and injustice. And I want you all to remember, in these difficult times, remember that when this country was founded, think about it, back in the 1770s, you got these colonial guys, and they had to take on the entire British Empire. Think about it. And people said, you can't do that. That's crazy. King of England, most powerful guy in the world. They stood together, they took them on, and they won, and we became the United States. Think about the 1830s, 1840s, the abolitionist movement, when people, many parts of the country said slavery is immoral. It's horrific. We cannot allow it to continue. They had to take on enormously powerful forces, and we fought a terrible civil war. But slavery was abolished. And to the brothers and the sisters in the labor movement, think about the history of the American labor movement. Think about the early part of the 20th century when kids were working in factories, when people were working 7 days a week, when people had no rights on the job. And workers said to their employers, we want a union. And the employer said, go to hell. And workers had to fight. And they got beaten up, and sometimes they got killed. I was just reading today, back in the 1936, you know how the UAW was formed? They did a sit-in. They took over the General Motors factories in Flint, Michigan. They stood up and they fought.
Are you tired of stuff falling between your armrest and your seat?
And the result of that is we have a union movement that helped create the middle class of this country. And think about the struggles of Dr. King and the civil rights movement. Think about the women's movement. Women fought and died and went to jail to get women the right to vote in the 1920s, and the environmental movement and the gay movement. So I understand, and you understand, that the oligarchs are enormously powerful. They control our economy. They control much of the media. They have enormous influence over our politics and our political system. But from the bottom of my heart, I believe they can be defeated, and we're going to do that. Now, their strategy is not complicated. They understand that when we stand together, we win. When they divide us up, they win. And their goal is to divide us up by the color of our skin, where we were born, our sexual orientation, our religion. And we're not going to let them do that. So when we stand together, not only are we going to defeat the oligarchs, in my humble opinion, we can create a government that works for all of us, not just the few. Let's go forward together. Let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. I appreciate you all. If you like the video, please share it out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, that's it for me. Bye-bye. Hey, M. Renee, Auntie Donna. If you guys didn't
in the morning
see
when
the
I'm
beginning,
driving,
catch the replay.
I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie Q.
If you guys missed the show, please catch the replay. It was some very important information that I wanted to get to my viewers. Thank you guys for being here. All right, I'll see you on the YouTube streets. Bye-bye.
They are rare and they are few. Who can compare with Ronnie Q? So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air. It's time for Ronnie Q.